When I think about all this, I think that the feeling of overwhelm is something that we need to deal with more than anything else right now, which is why I've invited Jonathan to do this, because he is an expert in mindfulness. And there's not many people in the sales community that really understand what this is about and the impact it can have on us, what we have to do. So Jonathan is here to talk about this, and I'm so happy to have him. Jonathan, thanks for being here.
Jill, I'm really glad we're doing this. I think it's perfect timing and a
Oh,
great idea.
I don't think the timing could be better. I think, you and I have talked about this topic before when I initially dealt with my own overwhelmed feeling about 4 years ago. And I included you in my book, More Sales, Less Time, about this topic of
Right?
mindfulness. But now I think it's even more compounded with all the things that we've added on. And you know, everywhere I'm going, I'm seeing it. Are you seeing it too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I shared with you once a term I heard called a pandemic of anxiety, right?
Yeah,
And
pandemic of anxiety.
it's very interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because, if you contrast it to good times, like I wasn't around after World War II or in the 50s,
Yeah.
but, when there's a good feeling, everybody's feeling it.
Yeah.
So we're not just feeling our own joy or happiness, we're feeling everybody's. And I think this pandemic is exactly that. We're not just feeling our own, but we're feeling everybody else's. So
Yeah.
it's helpful actually to appreciate that it's not just you, it's kind of everybody, and that it's something that we have in common and something that lessens the load a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
there's no ignoring it.
There's no ignoring it. And I don't think I've ever felt personally in such a swirl, in terms of
Hmm.
what's going on and where is it going to end and when is it
Yeah,
going to end. And I'm not feeling refreshed or human. I'm
it
feeling a burden myself.
it totally makes sense. None of us have ever been through anything like this.
No.
And it's like the rug's been pulled out from under us.
Right. Right.
So um, the other thing, just to relate to what I was saying, several of my clients are showing that they're in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
So um, some of my clients actually have me start and end a training program or coaching program with a meditation.
Really.
Yeah. I have some leaders who are more comfortable with this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
they've asked me to do a settling exercise before we do some coaching, right? And the last one I just want to point out, because I think it's relevant, I had a client who called me and she said her staff is just not, they're distracted. They don't feel like they have any value.
Yeah.
They don't feel like what they're doing is worthwhile. So I led a whole mindfulness thing. And then I said, okay, now share with me what you think you have in common with others, your clients, and how you can help them. And it turned things around because they started feeling compassion and empathy, and they were able to feel it because they were able to get out of theirs a little bit.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I mean, I think we really need to define what is mindfulness.
Right.
It's kind of a term that floats around. Some people may know what it means. Others may think it's totally woo woo and
Right.
like they're not that kind of person.
Right. I
Um,
can't I can't meditate or be mindful, right?
yeah. Well,
So,
I think you need to define it, because is it only meditation, or,
no.
what is it that you're talking about when you say mindfulness?
Okay. So in its simplest form, it's just being aware, being present with whatever's happening, whatever you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and um, really just not judging it, not thinking about it, not trying to figure something out about, not trying to do something with it. It's just allowing yourself the the luxury to almost, I like to use the word receive what's happening. So if you think about receiving, you're not doing anything, right?
Right.
You're
Right.
just receiving. And that's what it's about, being with yourself or being with whatever's happening at the time it's happening in a very kind, non-judgmental way. And just receiving it, paying attention to it, enjoying it, right?
So it's not about a bunch of ums and being in an ashram or
No,
anything. It's
no.
it's just quietly being there, not fretting or anything, but just accepting that this is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to give you a little exercise.
Oh, me.
Yeah,
Thank
simple,
you.
simple, simple, simple.
Yeah.
I do this with everybody. I just want you to look at your finger, whatever finger,
Yeah.
and just look at it and just observe it. See if you see anything. I mean, we usually don't do this, right?
No.
So see if you see anything about it. Just look at it for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If some thoughts come in, that's what's going to happen. That's what the brain does. And just in a relaxed, nice way, just take a look at your finger. And just let me know when you want to stop.
I could have stopped about a minute ago.
Okay. All right. So did you notice anything that you hadn't noticed before?
Well, I think I'd like to cut my fingernails
Okay.
or trim them or fix them up a little bit because yes, I did notice that,
Okay.
and I noticed a pencil mark on my finger that I didn't know was there. It
Right,
must have been
exactly.
prepping for today. I just
Yeah.
pencil
Right.
or pen mark. I
Yeah, I
didn't see that
noticed.
before.
I noticed I have a little bump here that I didn't have, and I noticed my fingers kind of like a crunch shape. So the
Okay,
point is,
so let
yeah.
me just ask you. So why why is staring at my fingers so important, or why is mindfulness so important? What does it do to us,
Yeah.
or the people who do spend time doing some of the things that we're going to talk about today?
Great question. It relaxes you. It takes you out of your mind. The mind is a wonderful thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it also creates, like you said, so much energy, so much worry, so much attachment, so much confusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the benefits, and this has been proven by science and
Mm-hmm.
something has been known in ancient times. It relaxes you, most important. It makes you more resilient because and calms you. Okay. It also, interestingly enough, allows you to focus more.
Yeah.
So it brings a very calming and and it opens you up to a more kind and gentle way of being with yourself and others. You know, and that's why it's so important. And Jill, the thing about it, there's so much change. There's one thing, things we can rely on that will always be there: our breath, our body, our senses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're very reliable. So all of those things together just bring us a sense of grounding, calm, uh, expansiveness, awareness, settling, and literally all the fret, not all of it, but all the fret and stuff that our brain creates kind of calms and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes just goes away.
I think if you take a look at brain science too, there's a lot of brain science that says that when you do something like this and calm
Mm-hmm.
yourself down, you open your mind to finding new solutions to the challenges that you're facing. Because when you're
Unequivocally.
under stress, you just push forward and you push and you only deal with the same ways you've always done things. And we're in a unique situation when we have to, what we did may not be working anywhere anymore because of the economic situation, the
Yep.
stress everybody's under. But the ability to see new options is only available when you're not under fear or when you're not under stress.
Fantastic. That's what I meant by resilience.
Oh,
And no, no, sorry, it was great. I appreciate it. And expansiveness, and
yeah.
same thing. The expansiveness opens you up to things, and because the brain's not thinking, it's not getting in the way.
Yeah.
I think Einstein said you can never cure the same problem that created it.
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Yep.
like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was
Okay.
a very
And our
simple
brains
thing.
are good at creating problems,
Oh,
so
we're good at it.
oh yes, yes, and that's not good for what we're trying to do in our
No,
life right now. So
no.
let me ask you this: you were always an overachiever, a hard charging sales guy, goal oriented. You're not the kind of guy that I would typically say would go into mindfulness.
Right.
Okay, so
Well,
tell me your story.
okay.
What got you into it?
Well, my story is it started in college.
Hmm.
Um, most people come to this kind of thing, Jill, through problems, through anxiety, through whatever. So I started to do yoga, and I realized that through the teachings that when you're doing yoga, it's a physical thing, but the teaching is just stay with your body. Don't think about how you're doing. Don't compare yourself. Just feel the body, and it's a meditation. right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a physical thing, right? Um, when it came to work, I always had a feeling that there was something missing, that I was being successful. And in fact, the more successful I got, I didn't necessarily get any happier. I mean, I had a lot of good things. I got happier that way, but there was always an underlying sense
Yeah.
of unease. So, uh, so I started meditating and doing these kinds of exercises we'll talk about. And it's interesting. I want to tell you a story because it's really, it goes right to what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
My last year in the corporate world, uh, before I started my own sales training company, my
Mm-hmm.
number was doubled. My
What doubled? Say it
my
again.
number,
Your number.
my goal.
Your goal.
My
Okay.
my territory was lessened. I wasn't given any more people. The average sales price was falling. It was pretty pressurized. And
It sounds like an ideal situation to blow up to
right,
me.
exactly. And I had a boss who was evil. I mean, you talk about a boss who managed through fear, right?
Wow.
So I was doing my meditation,
Yeah.
and I realized that um, if I could be non-reactive to him because I was calmer, then maybe I could lessen his anger towards me in general.
Mm-hmm.
So long and short of it, first 6 months, the pressure was, you're going to lose your job, even though my team was doing well. And then one day he calls me and says, let's go out to dinner. And I said, uh-oh.
This is it. This is it.
This
You're
is it.
gone. Yeah.
And then the surprise was he opened up to me. He told me about his personal life. He said he appreciated the calm that I was showing under such pressure. And that changed the whole demeanor of our relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then I started doing similar meditations or mindfulness exercises. And again, not the woo-woo sitting with my team because they were feeling the same pressure. And it was amazing. It brought us together. The teamwork was better. The collective effort was together. And we ended up being the #1 sales team in the world for the 4th year in a row.
Wow.
And then I said, I don't want to go through that anymore. And then I started my own sales training business.
Mm-hmm.
So
But that
it's
was in a
amazing.
situation where your quota went way up, your sales price went down, the pressure was on.
Oh, really? It was intense.
It was intense. And
Yeah.
the calming down is what
Yeah, the
enabled
being
you guys.
mindful, the being more
Yeah.
aware, the resilience, the openness. It allowed me to see things. I never would have seen doing what I did without that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you are coming out with a book soon on this topic called
Yeah.
Mindfully,
Selling.
Mindful or Mindfully?
Mindfully selling.
Mindfully Selling. It'll be out in first quarter. You've got a
Yes.
lot of really good ideas that you're sharing with people on how they can implement this, but we can't go through the whole book today and it won't be out till Q1. So I'm just going to ask you if you can talk about 3 strategies that anybody who is a normal human being, you laugh.
I'm glad we refined it. Yeah.
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 Just a normal person sitting in our home office right now, trying to do our job and trying to be resilient, and distractions all over and another Zoom meeting. But
Right.
what are 3 things that we could do? We'll just start with number 1.
Okay.
Ooh, here's my finger again.
There you go.
I'm not going to pay attention to you.
I noticed.
Yeah.
First thing we can do is slow down. And what I mean by that, if you can start your day, just again, you're starting your day, give yourself some time not to worry or think about what you're doing. So like, I'll tell you, some of the things that I do is when I shower, I just try to feel the water on me. I just try, I luxuriate in the water and the warmth of it, right? If I'm washing my hair, I just try to feel the sensations of my fingers in my body, on my scalp. It's just feeling, being present with, and it's very pleasurable. It's very enjoyable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I try to just be aware of things like, toweling off, or if my brain goes off, which it always will.
Yeah.
And then remembering, oh, my brain's going off. Maybe I'm brushing my teeth. Okay, so I'm feeling brushing my teeth. So it's just slowing down. Like for some reason, I'm really good at being able to hear I feel like I'm that commercial, coffee commercial, where I can hear every drop of coffee going into my cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's just,
I never
it,
thought of even slowing it down. I just want to hurry the coffee,
you want to
hurry
drink
the
that
coffee in
coffee.
my cup. Come on,
Right, right, right. So it's just peaceful.
It's
It's just a
peaceful.
peaceful way
So
to
you're
start.
creating peace around you, even peace in chaos. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people are living in kind of chaos right now with roommates and kids and,
Even more so because there's no chaos when that's happening. All of those things are gone
so you just slow
because you're
down.
not thinking about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
And
checking your email first thing when you get out of bed.
no, definitely not.
No,
Yeah, my phone time is down, my email time is down. Don't need it.
don't
Yeah,
need it.
don't
But
need
you
it.
don't need, not at that time or over, or just in
During
general.
the day.
Okay.
The other thing I would say is don't, if possible, don't crowd yourself with too many things to do. Like a customer of mine showed me his calendar. I said, "How's your day going?" He said, "Let me show you." And he showed me his calendar. It was nonstop, and I could see he was tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
So
you're
I
tired, you're
mean, what if
stressed.
you have to? What if you feel like you have to in order to get everything done and what,
Give yourself 5 minutes between meetings.
5 minutes,
Yeah,
even five
and
minutes.
5 minutes, and then try to do something that is, similar. Feel the weight of your body on your chair. Uh, One of my favorite things is to open up to hearing. See, listen, because I mean, we don't have to try to listen. We listen, and it's so spontaneous. And again, it's kind of taking us out of our brain. It's relaxing our body, and it's just putting us. The thing about it that's so beautiful is you become more relaxed, but you also become more aware and focused. So you can do little things in between the meetings. I like to do something called a walking meditation, which is just feeling my feet on the floor. That's it. Just feeling. How many times have we ever done that in our life for ourselves?
I mean,
Never.
I sort of have walking meditation, but I don't feel it. I enjoy the breeze when I go outside. I mean, it's
Yeah. Oh, that's a walking meditation. Yeah.
walking is my way of disconnecting from
Yeah. Well,
everything, and
there you
it's
go.
where I get my best ideas
I
typically.
know. You
It's
totally.
like I get away from the office, I get away from I shouldn't say it, the goddamn computer. But
Mhm.
I mean, if you're stuck in a digital environment all day long, my brain at least, is incapable of coming up with good ideas. It's like I need to walk away from it or get out and do something entirely different.
Thank you. You just gave an example of mindfulness.
Yeah, and it's refreshing.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's refreshing.
Refreshing.
Okay.
Great word.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Number two, you've given us one now. Slow down. Number two,
The
two
second thing
fingers.
is the second thing is to try to start a formal practice. You know, there are three ways to make this a formal time, right? Um, so set aside some time to do one of the three, which is either sitting, standing, or listening, and try to do it at a time where you won't be interrupted. Most people try to do it in the morning,
Mhm,
or maybe when the day is over, right?
mhm, mhm,
Um, and start cultivating this. Cultivating this, it's a practice. You get better and better and better and better at it.
mhm.
And as you get better and better, your mind starts think slowing down a little bit, or when your mind thinks, you can catch it sooner, and you can come back to being present with whatever you're doing. So you can start a formal practice. Um, you want me to give you some ideas of what you might do during this, or?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I always start with my body. So I just make sure I'm in a really comfortable position. I usually sit in a chair, you
Mhm.
know, and I just feel my bottom on my chair, my feet on the ground. I take a few deep breaths, just to exhale and relax. And I remind myself, I say to myself, this is my time for myself to settle down. And there's nothing for me to do, nothing to accomplish, nothing to figure out. I'll tend to all of that later. So I remind myself, okay?
Mhm.
And then I can focus on one of three things. I can focus on my breath, just feeling whether my breath is, I can feel my breath coming from my nose or my chest or my stomach. Wherever it comes in most, that's where I just feel it. And very shortly, like you said, your brain starts thinking, right?
Yep.
So, okay, as soon as you can, you say, okay, brain, I'll come back to you. And then I'm going to bring my attention back to wherever my breathing is strongest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in this time, Jill, we're all looking for stability.
Yeah.
And what's more stable than our breath?
Mm-hmm.
So we can count on it. It's always there. Some people have said they consider their breath their best friend because it's always there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way of doing it.
You're
The other
slowing
one,
me, by the way, you're slowing me down just by talking about that. You know, it's like
well,
as you're talking about feeling your breath, I'm kind of breathing in and listening to you and settling into my chair in a different way.
good.
Yeah.
Well, that's I'll mention that later if I have a chance. The
Yeah.
second is bodily sensation, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just focus on my body, where it feels pleasant, where I feel a little nervous. And again, I'm just going to feel it. I'm not going to react to it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to say, oh, this has to go away. It's just a bodily sensation. Okay. And that's when the mind starts working. Oh, I don't like this, or what is this going to become? And it's just coming back to the body. And it's a little harder than the breathing one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
another one I like to do is actually a body scan where you lie down
Like
and
on the
you know,
floor, on the bed, on the
something
what? On the
soft,
couch.
something soft.
Yeah.
And I usually do it with somebody guiding me. There's lots of guided meditations online. And
Mm-hmm.
you just scan from your feet all the way up to your head. And you just, okay, I feel my foot. I'm going to relax it now. I feel my ankle. Feel it, feeling it, not thinking about it, not saying, oh, I'm feeling just thinking about it, not thinking about feeling it. And then I relax.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that through my whole body. It's a really nice meditation. So that's a bodily kind of meditation.
How long do these things last?
Whatever time you can give it. It can be 5, 10, 15, 20,
But any time,
anytime. Yep.
5 minutes, 2 minutes,
Yep. Yep.
just to
Yep.
get cool.
Yep. And the other bodily one is the walking I mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the third one is just hearing. So it's the same thing, sitting down, well, doing the relaxation, and then just bring your attention to hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there'll be no hearing, and something will be a click of a something, or if you're outside, you'll hear nature. And it's just so instantaneous. You don't have to do anything with it.
So how will I be different after doing something like this?
Same thing, relaxed, feeling more spacious,
Mm-hmm.
feeling more alert,
Okay.
more relaxed, you
And
know?
again, not when you're not under stress, you're able to do your job better. And
Right. Kinder, kindness and joy come out. You know,
yeah.
empathy arises,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of them, that's it. That's all of these, wherever they, however form, that's what you do. And that helps.
Sounds like it would help everybody
Exactly.
do this. And yeah, not just crazy busy salespeople or sales leaders, that everybody
Right.
could benefit from. Do you have any
Exactly.
other suggestions before I move to my next question? Was that three? Was that three or was that just
Well, the third was just kind of doing that, like you said, in the moment. So the third is, like you're sitting in the lobby waiting to go into a meeting, or you're that's not happening to.
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
You're sitting
Well,
there trying to figure out the technology
okay.
issues that are
Yeah, yeah,
preventing
yeah.
this
Okay. There
meeting
you
from
go.
happening,
So you take 2 minutes before you go into your Zoom meeting, and you just do one of these exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Feel your feet, feel your bum, close your eyes, and settle down into your listening or your hearing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're touching something, I just picked up don't feel it. It's round, it's smooth, feel it. So just little things that you feel, chill, do that. Feel the water in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Right?
Different. Mm-hmm.
Different. And that would be the third thing I would mention.
Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to switch a little bit to a different gear that still has a lot to do with selling, and that's dealing with our customers. They are customers and our prospects. They are under the same amount of stress that we're under right now.
Right.
I've heard that they're, I can't handle anymore. They're jumping at salespeople. They're demanding things, and their pressure is coming through, and the salesperson may not be high on their list of people they want to be nice
Yeah, because
to.
they're feeling their pressure, their own pressure.
Pressure from the salesperson too.
Right.
Yeah, to make a
Yeah.
change, to look at to add more work to their already overloaded schedule. So how
Right.
can we?
And the customers are feeling the same pressure.
Right. So what can we do around that to maybe help our customers and ultimately to help ourselves?
Okay. Well, first thing is do the things we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you're interacting with them, you're in a better space. Just like you responded to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's how they'll react.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know the percentage, 93% of all communications is nonverbal, right? Whatever that number is.
Yeah.
Well, I think we now have to add what we're talking about to the nonverbal communications,
Meaning
right?
just
Meaning the feeling, the
feeling of peacefulness and calmness.
yeah, and that it could be felt even in a video.
Um, and so if we do this, are you saying to do this, all these exercises before we reach out?
Yeah, and again, if you don't have time, take 2-3 minutes to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meeting, calm yourself down. As opposed to, let me quick get on the phone again and bang out another call, or,
Right.
do something
Exactly.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did it before we went on this video, did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to settle. I wanted to be in a good place with you.
Yeah. Rather than jumping right in and
Right.
getting to the key points and
Info.
yeah,
Right.
right. So,
And being flexible.
and being flexible
Yep.
and understanding.
Yep. And understanding and empathy. Big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was actually, I was going to say that you have to be more empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
And some people use the word compassion, but I don't like to freak people out with that word. But I'll give you a difference between empathy and compassion. Empathy is if your friend stubs their toe and then you stub your toe. Now you can be empathetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Compassion is somebody stubs their toe and you come there and you just comfort them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And so you're just comforting, you're just in a more comforting place because you're more out of your own angst.
Okay.
Yeah. I think also acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Before a meeting, saying, you could even say like, I don't know about you, but I'm, this thing's getting to me, or, I've been on Zoom for 4 hours, can we just take a second to like pause and feel,
Yeah.
I've done that. People appreciate it. Yeah.
People appreciate it, I guess, because they are under the same stress that we're under, and they're being asked to do more with less, and they're living in the same crowded situations, that we're living in. They're not getting out and doing their normal life, and
everything's topsy-turvy.
everything's
And it's also a chance to add some levity, like, are you like, is your brain on, smoke now, or
yeah.
are you, right?
I think that's good. I like adding levity too. I mean, it gets it off. We're here only for business and to talk business. I mean, the most important thing is to connect with somebody as a human being, and you don't have to say, how awful, and go down the,
Right.
tube.
Go down. Oh, nobody wants you to do that.
No,
That's the
God,
worst.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, by the way, I've stopped listening to negative news, and I just, I think when you ask questions or you make statements, I think maybe you should use different words like safe or inclusive or easy, because people don't want complicated. Complicated things are already complicated enough.
Okay, so to stress the ease and the low risk, and we can help you. We can make sure you get off to a good start.
Right. We'll take care of you, and if you have to close, some industries you have to close harder, faster. I would just watch out for doing it too hard, too much.
Oh yeah.
I think it could turn people off.
It could turn me off real fast.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then again, empathy and compassion and something called deep listening. Deep listening is, I think, what you and I are doing with each other, which is we're really listening to each other so we can hear what we're saying, and then we can do active listening back.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that makes people feel good. So there's other things, but I would say those are the.
But you're right, it's about slowing down and not rushing the conversation. But if you're not going to rush it, too, that means you have to really think more, I think, about what you're going to talk about in the meeting. So it doesn't feel pushy at all.
Right. And by slowing down, I think you can hear people better.
Yeah.
And not only hear words and facts, but you can sense emotions or things underneath, even if it's in video, that you can then, bring into your response.
Cool. So, okay, last official question, although I'm sure I'll have more questions because I usually do. The other thing that seems to be missing from people's life these days, and that I've heard over and over again, is I'm not having a lot of fun. I don't get out of the house. I feel like I'm not going anywhere. I'm not able to see my friends, and I'm not able to, go out to eat in a restaurant, or, and I'm from Minnesota where it's going to get cold real soon, and we could eat outside right now, but in another month we are not going to be eating outside. And
right.
So we're going to be enclosed, in our homes even more. And there's not a lot of fun going around. And I know I've been through this before. Again, it's why I wrote my book, More Sales, Less Time, because I just was overwhelmed with everything to do. And I was reading an article, and it said, one of the things that's important to do is to have fun. So write down 100 things you'd like to do, have fun. And so, here's this burnt out brain of mine. And I sit with a piece of blank paper and I start thinking of things to do for fun. I literally could not get to 10 things that I'd like to do for fun. And you're supposed to have a list of 100. And so like one of them was travel. So then instead of doing, I cheat sometimes. And so instead of just writing travel, I write travel to Peru, travel to the Galapagos, travel.
Those were 3 of your 10.
I can list 100 of them, different travel, but shoot, now even that's gone. I can't travel anywhere right now.
Right.
So
travel to my living room.
Yeah, travel. Oh yeah, I went down the hall the other day too.
All right.
How exciting, And when I go out, I have to wear a mask everywhere. So it's like, oh. So I'm not having all that much fun. I don't think anybody's having all that much fun. And I honestly believe that having fun in your life is important. So how can we, what ideas do you have for us?
Okay, first of all, I think asking somebody to come up with 100 things of fun is pressure.
Oh God, it was awful.
It's already putting pressure on us.
Oh my God, yes. I felt like a total failure, I couldn't even think of 10 things that were fun. I was so burnt out at that.
We're lucky if we could find 2, 3, 4 things. Who knows? Yeah. So that would be one thing I would say. Second thing I would say is play games. Well, let me ask you a question, Jill. This has been kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
So having conversations, reaching out to people to talk about things that are fun or interesting. I did a college Zoom reunion.
Yeah?
Yeah, people who haven't interacted with each other for like 30 years.
Yeah, wow.
My partner, she does virtual lunches every Saturday. I like throwing a ball against the wall.
And that's fun.
Yeah, it's fun for me. Yeah. Okay. Well, it reminds me of being a kid, people sing, they dance, they have a heart, they do art, they listen to music. So, any and all of those things are things that I think can be done. I think if you can start doing things, find things you can do with people, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the people that you know a lot and you can trust that haven't been out either. I know it's really hard that way, but
I think you're right. There was a video, Tim Robbins did a video where he did some mindfulness work in prisons. And I think it was called 30 or 40 seconds of laughter. And scientifically, it's proven if you can laugh 30 seconds straight, even if it's a fake laugh,
yes,
you feel better.
Yes, and there's somebody from India who's a laughing guru, and there's actually research that shows that fake laugh doesn't even matter, your body treats it as a real laugh,
it
changes the body chemistry and makes you feel different. And I have a friend who became a practitioner in laughing.
Yeah, great. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
It's so simple. It feels phony at first, but then it changes your neurons. It changes your body.
Yes.
So great. Very important.
Yes. Very fun.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, I promise that was the last question, but I do want you to say a few words about your book. It's called Mindfully Selling.
Yes.
It will be out in Q1.
Yes, unless the publisher changes their mind again, but yeah.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
Your website, if people want to go to learn more about what you do and how they can work with you.
Yeah, www.mindfullyselling.com.
Oh, that's
Thought that would be
easy.
good, right?
That's easy, mindfullyselling.com.
Yeah.
And they can connect with you on LinkedIn at,
Boy, what is my name?
oh,
Jonathan.
you don't have your name.
Uh, I think it's Jonathan London, or it's
Okay, well,
IPG.
they can check you out. They can
Okay, yeah.
find you. They can,
All right. But
look you up.
if they put in Jonathan London, they'll find an author who's written about 30 books.
That's not
And
you.
then that's not me. Or they can type in real selling or IPG training.
IPG training too. Okay. Okay. And is there any final words you'd like to share with everybody before we sign off?
Well, last thing I want to do is I'm doing coaching
Okay.
and training on this before my book comes out.
Okay.
So if they're interested, they can reach me at my jlondon@ipgtraining.com. I'm still
Okay.
using that. That's because where most people know me.
Okay.
And last closing words, be kind to yourself. Realize that we're all going through it.
Mm-hmm.
It will get better.
Yeah,
It'll get better.
Yeah.
We'll find the vaccine and things will be different. And just do some of the things we're talking about. And I think it'll help. And there's one book I wanted to mention. It's a book called Real Happiness at Work.
Ooh.
by Sharon Salzberg.
It's good?
Very good.
Okay. Thank you. A final thing. Jonathan London, thanks for all your ideas on mindfulness and selling, a topic nobody is talking about, but everybody should be talking about right now.
Great. Thanks, Jill. I really do. I'm really happy we did this. Great time.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.